So, graphs and tables. Now, for doing a graph or a table, we don't need all of the writing here, which is formulas or totals or anything like that, because generally speaking, for what we want, it won't really work out all that well, because you've averages and maximum and minimum and what have you. Where if you do a graph, it'll add up all this anyway, and it'll format it anyway. So what we need is what is inside this square here. So if I highlight this here, this is what we want. So I'm going to show you that on another sheet where it doesn't have all of the clutter. This is what we would have started out with. This is the bare bones of our income and our the amount of items that we would have sold. So that's all we want. Now, so once that's highlighted, I am going to insert, and then I am going to choose a recommended chart. We'll go with that just to see what it throws up. So this recommends that we should look at a line chart, which definitely is a good idea. This one here, which is a bar chart, but it's got an awful lot of information on it, which sometimes might be hard to read. We can have another type of infill line chart, and we can have various different charts like that. There's lots of them. You can have the ones with dots and charts going across, various different ones. But we're going to start, just to analyze our data, we are going to probably be better off starting with one like this, just to see. So we're going to go with that, but we'll change it in a while anyway. Now I am going to go down to my little minimizer here, and I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to move that down. Okay, I'm going to undo that. Now, I'm going to move that. Actually, I'll keep it in here. And I'll tell you why. Because that there is a page. Do you see where the broken line is? That's a page. Now, if I click on this cell here and just maximize, and maximize again, and I can see where my little cell is there. Now, so what I can see is my flowers are by far my biggest seller. My shrubs come in next, my trees, garden tools and online sales. And down here, the coloured little boxes here are telling me in April, there is April all the way across. So there was garden tools, the biggest seller there. Garden tools had September. In August, August had a good month there for shrubs and a good month there for flowers. So you can pick the colours out and you can tell an awful lot of information about things very, very quickly. Now, if I change this chart, now I can only change it if I have it highlighted like this. Do you see the way the little circles are around the side? So I am going to change this to a line chart, because this will tell you a different piece of information. Now, this is brilliant if you're looking at employees. You can say an employee had their best sales in, say, June or July or August or whatever, or in September, as is the green line. But if you hover over it, it'll actually pop up on the screen there exactly what that point is, you know. And as you're going down, then you can move over to various different ones and it'll tell you, you know, what each one means, even if you can't see it here. So up along the sides, then it's going to give you the numbers as well. Okay. You can switch it to box, which isn't going to tell you really an awful lot. You can go with other ones then, combination of line and bar charts. Again, they can be fairly confusing. and you can pop around there. Or you can change it to a tree map, which again, you can see the flowers are the biggest sellers, followed by, or the biggest income followed by online sales. But then your online sales, do they include flowers, or are they separate really from the sales? Are they added in together, or are they not? Are you adding the same thing twice maybe? But that's you would know that if you were doing it. Now you have pie charts as well, various different types. Some of these can be very informative, others not so much. These are easy to see that you've sold an awful lot more flowers. So you can do that and fool around with it all the way around your charts and try out various different ones all you want. Some of them are more confusing, some of them are less confusing. You can't break it. So just fool around, and when you hover on the dot like that, it'll tell you the number and everything else in it. So that's charts.